Despite being a relatively new sport, the game of spikeball has seen such a spiked growth that colleges are creating clubs and teams that allow their students to enjoy the nice weather in a fun and entertaining way. The Copperheads returned to Bob Wren Stadium after their last 2 seasons were canceled due to the ongoing pandemic. With the decrease in positive COVID cases, the Copperheads decided it was time to lace up their cleats and hit the ball field.
They say sports are for everyone, but not everyone in sports receives the same amount of respect. That's why 3 girls got together to create a podcast to talk about the underrepresented view of women in sports. While the Ohio baseball team enjoys the use of Bob Wren during the spring season, another team is excited to take the field in a little more than 6 weeks.
We're coming back. Our home opener is June 7th.
The Copperheads returned to Bob Wren Stadium after their last 2 seasons were canceled due to the ongoing pandemic. With the decrease in positive COVID cases, the Copperheads decided it was time to lace up their cleats and hit the ball field.
After 2 years not having a season, we believe that we were further along in the pandemic, that we could, it was a risk we could take to have the season. And it looks like we made the right decisions.
The return of summer baseball in Athens will mark an important milestone for the organization.
We couldn't be more excited. We couldn't be more excited to welcome the community-owned, student-operated Southern Ohio Copperheads back for their 20th year.
It's going to be a lot. We've got a lot of good things planned. The excitement is out there for the season, so we're really looking forward to it.
The summer season also marks the first under new head coach TJ Lanning.
Being a fan of the Southern Ohio Copperheads since I was a little kid growing up in Athens, going to visit my family all throughout the summer. I enjoyed going to the games and whatnot, so I've always been a fan of the Southern Ohio Copperheads. You know, the emotions for me is really excitement is the word I can put it into perspective.
After being named head coach last year but being unable to coach due to the pandemic, Lanning and the Copperheads are excited to return to the field with hopes of fighting for a championship.
I mean, I can't wait to have Bob Wren jumping this summer, man. I'm excited. I hope the fans bring the energy, because we're going to be bringing the energy in the dugout nonstop 24/7.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Jack Demmler in Athens. It's become one of the hottest sports of the summer, spikeball.
It's a really fun sport, and it doesn't really matter how good you are. Anybody could play it, really.
That is freshman Storm Stanley, who is a new member of the Ohio University Spikeball Club.
I mean, I played it a little bit in high school. We had a tournament. Instead, usually we did a dodgeball tournament or a spikeball tournament, because like you said, it's getting so big. But I saw the club, and they looked like a good group of guys.
Under the bright sun, one can find a game of spikeball almost anywhere. Despite being a relatively new sport, the game of spikeball has seen such a spiked growth that colleges are creating clubs and teams that allow their students to enjoy the nice weather in a fun and entertaining way. One such college that has experienced this growth is Ohio University. President of the Bobcat Spikeball Club, Mark Russell, talks about the growth he's experienced from the club.
We originally started freshman year. There was a decent sized amount of people. Then COVID kind of really hurt us, and so we only had 6 people my junior year. And now this year, we've all the oncoming freshmen that came and are able to be on campus now. We have around 15 to 20, I'd say, that are pretty consistent in showing up, and I think we're still growing by the week.
The club also engages in games and tournaments against other colleges.
We'll talk to Bexley, we're talking to Cincy, to Ohio State, to Michigan, and we're also including just Ohio women's round net too. We're trying to get as many people as we can to show up for this tournament.
One of the biggest things the members of the club enjoy most about the sport, the bonds they create.
I mean, it's a brotherhood, and we just keep growing it all the time, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I texted any of these guys, I feel like any of them would do something for me if I needed it.
Reporting for WAB, I'm Jack Demmler in Athens. Through its history, sports have progressed and grown to be more inclusive. However, there still lies a lack of coverage on women's sports.
They say sports are for everyone, but not everyone in sports receives the same amount of respect. That's why 3 girls got together to create a podcast to talk about the underrepresented view of women in sports.
We decided to start it up in September, I believe. Yeah, it was kind of a mutual idea just to kind of start one because we're all women in sport and just kind of explore the different ideas with that.
That is Maria Manessi, a sophomore at Ohio University, who is one of the 3 girls that helped create the podcast Yes Ma'am, which focuses on all things related to women in sports.
We wanted to kind of do it around that just to kind of highlight different things that happen nationally and then like Ohio women's sports, and because sometimes they don't get as much acknowledgement as they should, and just kind of formed our idea from there.
We were like, let's just talk about like women in sports and their experiences and things we notice. It's just because that's what connects us, and we feel like by having this platform, even if it is small, we're able to explore the depths of what it means to be a woman in sport.
The podcast has been well received, as they have even won honorable mention at the College Media Association Apple Awards. The girls hope to continue the legacy of the podcast they created.
I hope that we are able to just continue excelling and exploring new things and having more guests and more conversations, because there are conversations that need to be had.
I think it would be cool to have like it be carried on throughout the years after us 3 are gone.
For WAB, I'm Jack Demmler in Athens.
CNN is shutting down its CNN Plus streaming service less than a month after its launch. The shutdown of CNN Plus will occur on April 30th. CNN Plus launched when CNN was a part of AT&T. Its new corporate partner, Warner Brothers Discovery, is scrapping the service, and the head of CNN Plus, Andrew Morse, is leaving the company. Some CNN Plus programming and employees will be absorbed in the television network and website. However, there will be layoffs. Customers of the streaming service will also receive refunds of their subscription fees. Some West Virginia schools have a new face joining their students next year. West Virginia has passed the Friends with Paws bill. The bill allows therapy dogs into the classroom with students who need them for comfort and companionship. Friends with Paws will be a partnership with the Governor's Office, West Virginia Communities and School Nonprofit, and the West Virginia State Department of Education. Governor Jim Justice says the dogs will be placed in schools with high poverty rates and substance abuse. The first therapy dog will be placed at Welsh Elementary School in McDowell County.